Hi there, here's a little recap of this week. This time, instead of doing one long combination and repeating it multiple times, we actually did a few shorter combinations. And then we were sprinkling them into that music wherever it kind of sounded like it would fit. Because we had some things that were a little bit faster and things that were a little bit slower. And we went back and forth between those combinations. So one of our combinations we were calling our hips, and it was hip drops and hip lifts. So remember, when we're lifting our hip, it's literally just going from neutral to higher and then back to neutral. What we were doing with these hip lifts were we were using them to move across the floor to our side. So like if we're going to our right, when we're lifting our left hip, we're letting that move us across. So our feet are just kind of recovering in between. So the hip that's lifting is in the opposite side of the direction you're going, and your other foot is the one that's actually making that movement happen from side to side. So we had hip lifts to the right. We did that 4 times, and then when we got to the right diagonal, we were gonna do some drops with that very same hip. So our left hip is out to the audience. With just a basic drop, we're just taking it from neutral and down and then resetting. To take that up a little bit of a level, we were releasing every other time because that leg is really not the one that we're standing on, and it's free just to come out. But if you want to just keep it on that basic level, you would just be dropping for 8. If you take it to that little bit higher level, it would be a drop and release 4 times. On the last part of that, we had to fudge it a little to go into our next combo. So on the very last one, that either the last part of the drop and release or the 8th drop, you're kind of coming back to neutral instead of doing that very last of the 8 count. Another combination that we did, we were calling circles. And so we had some hip circles and we had some chest circles. And our hip circles were going horizontally and in the counterclockwise direction, and those were helping us to go to the left. So we were using that to move to the left. Wherever your weight is off of your feet, that's where you can pick it up to start moving. And our chest circles here, we could have done a smooth chest circle, but because the way this music sounded, it was very very beat heavy. So we did a broken chest circle, which really we could call more of a diamond because we're finding those 4 points. And we would do that all 4 points twice for the 8 count. But again, on the last part of it, we're about to shift into something else. So you kind of fudge that last one. But we were going right, up, left, down, right, up, left, and kind of fudge the down because you're getting ready to do something else. Another combination that we had, we were calling our Mayas, and we have done Mayas many times in here. That's a figure 8 that is going vertical instead of horizontal. So you can lift your heels to make that hip go up, out, down, and in, or you can try to keep them flat. It's up to you. It's a little bit harder to keep them flat. You can definitely see a lot more movement when you pick them up. The way that we were doing these Mayas was we were doing one on the right to step out a little, one on the left to step out a little, back to the right, and then we were rolling up. So that roll up starts in our hips, it tucks up, it squeezes in on the abs, and then it lifts up the chest. So we were going right Maya, left Maya, right Maya, roll up. And then one more time, but this time we're going to start with the left leg because it's the one that's free. Left, right, left, roll up. Another combination that we had, remember we had lots of little short ones, was that we were doing camels in the backwards direction. So with camel, we mean a roll down kind of undulation. So I'm going up with my chest and then bringing it in, and releasing the pelvis. So a little bit of a roll down. But to make it a camel, what we were doing was we were backing up with it and we were doing 2 of those roll downs on each step. So let's say I backed up with my right leg, I would roll down, back up with the left, roll down, again with the right, and again with the left. Now the way that we took this up a little bit was by changing where our arms were. At first, they were all the way up, then they're beside of our head, then they're beside of our torso, and then our hips. And those were our combinations that we did all throughout this music, and in a few places where it didn't quite fit, we just threw in some hip bumps, some shimmies, and also just some regular figure 8s and shoulder rolls. So let's see what that looks like to our music that we use today. Let's do some figure 8s. Shoulder rolls. We're going to do our hip combo. And go into our circle. Back to hips. And back to circle. Again. Circles. Ready for Maya? Our heels. And ready for our hips again. Going into our circles. Ready for Maya's again. Hills. Ready for hips. Circles. We're going to keep it at a bump here. And then this bump is going to go up to a shimmy. Let's take it up to a shimmy here. And just do some pretty arms with it. And get ready for that